Hi, my name is Mitch Starkman. I am a sports and orthopedic physical therapist, and I have hemophilia. So let's talk. Okay, so let's talk about the number one thing not to do when talking to your kids or patients about hemophilia. So I'll start with a little bit of story about myself. When I was a kid growing up, I actually had mild hemophilia, and I would go in pretty infrequently. And what would happen was if I did have a bleed or an injury, and I didn't quite know what it was, I would kind of hide it, monitor it, take a look at it myself. And as I would get more and more of these injuries over the years, I would hide them more and more. And the reason for that is when I brought them forward, what I would hear from my family, from my healthcare team was, why didn't you bring this out sooner? Or, hey, this is a pretty bad injury. Why did you do X? Why did you play football? Why did you play that game of hockey? Why did you? And oftentimes I felt like I was being scolded. And here's the thing, all those things were stupid that I did. Don't get me wrong, they were correct. But as a kid growing up, I don't quite realize that at that time. And what that does is it creates shame. And it creates more of an environment that I don't want to bring it forward because I do not want to be shamed. And I want to deal with it myself. So the number one thing you don't want to do is question why they did what they did to get injured. They're already injured. Here we are, we've injured ourselves, and now we are coming to you because we need help. Now, if this person is repeatedly doing things way outside of their realm, then it's a conversation to be had. But if these are one-off injuries / they happen. I remember I would get hurt in football and I'd get scolded. So I wasn't allowed to do that. I would play baseball. I played baseball, and one time in baseball I got injured. Why are you playing baseball? So one time then I went to running, cross-country running. I got hurt in cross-country running. Why were you playing cross-country running? You shouldn't have ran so hard at the end. I was waiting in line at a roller coaster, leaning up on the bars, and I slipped and I hit my shin, and I ended up with a bleed in my shin. And the question I got was, well, why were you sitting up on the bar? And ultimately, some of those injuries were, me not necessarily taking the proper precautions, and other ones were fluke, and ultimately they were all me being a kid. And what that feedback led to me doing was hiding more and more of these injuries, and then being worse and worse overall because I didn't want to bring it forward to the people that could help me because I was hoping it would just go away. And sometimes they did. I would suffer and they would kind of get better on their own. Other times they wouldn't, and they'd be a lot worse for that. And so I think if we're trying to create the safest environment for our kids growing up to be working through hemophilia and working with their parents as a team and their family physicians and their healthcare team as a cohesive unit, the key is really, hey, what happened? Great, I'm happy you were enjoying that activity. Here's what we're gonna do. And then at the end, we can counsel a little bit on what activities we could do moving forward. But telling someone that they shouldn't have been doing X because that's why Y happened, every single time will create an environment where they no longer tell you about X. And they might even start lying about what the actual cause of the injury was because they don't want to be honest, and that can lead to a whole other whack of issues. So all I have to say, I hope that adds some clarity and a bit of a personal story on my end to, when we're talking with our patients, with our kids, make sure we are creating a safe space for them to tell us what's going on and not scolding them for doing these things. And I think we'll have a much safer and healthier environment because of it. Hope that helps. If you haven't already, please hit down there and like this video or share it with your friends. You can subscribe as well. It's a bit of a new format or series for us here. And I hope you all continue to move like you mean it. From the bottom of my heart to yours. Stay well, and we'll talk to you soon.